Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Groundhog's Garage. My name is Jim. Hey, about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, I bought myself a dash cam. And not because I was worried about getting in an accident or anything, but I had something funny happen to me, and I was kind of frustrated I didn't get it initially on video. I'd gone to a local car wash, and it's one of those with the self-service kiosk. You go in, you put your card in, you pick your car wash, and then the gate opens and you go in. Well, once you pay, you go around this bend, and it's 180 degrees, so you're kind of going around a half circle. And the car in front of me was clearly struggling. It's hard to explain that, but so it was bad. It caught my attention, so I had to, of course, see who was driving the car, and it was some woman my age, maybe a little older, and she had somebody in the car with her, and it was about 1:30. So my initial thought was that maybe she had how's that go? She had too many martinis at lunch. Took her 3 tries to get her car in the rails where your wheels got to go so the car wash can pull you through. But she had to literally back up so she could get her. She went too wide, and then so they had to back her up, and she had to work her way back to the left side of the car wash. But anyway, I'm waiting my turn, and the guy's directing me in, come on in. And then all of a sudden, everything stops, and this girl takes off across the rails, and she's like, stop, stop, stop. And then you hear, bam. I really need a dash cam. Whoever's in this car in front of me, instead of waiting for the track to pull her along or pull him along, whoever's driving the car just decided to start driving and ran smack into the van that's in front of them. You can't make this stuff up. You saw what after the fact, which is unfortunate because it was funny. I'm thinking, well, it's one of those things. I don't know how some people. It's got to be luck that people catch these things on their cell phones that you see videos of, and it's like, oh my God, it's a 1 in a million shot. How did you get that? So I decided I'd get a dash cam. Well, you know how it is when that happens. Nothing interesting happens. It's been a year now, and nothing like that has happened. I had to go to Florida after I bought that dash cam, and I thought, well, surely something's got to happen between Florida and Ohio. So if you creep up to someone, you get a forward collision warning, and it buzzes at you. Now, in heavy traffic, no big deal. It is what it is. If you've ever driven from Ohio to Florida, it can be bad. It can be bumper to bumper for hours. But this was during a pandemic. There was literally nobody on the highway. We all have to deal with this. Again, before we go down this road, I am not the world's best driver. I can be aggressive. I can be slow. Anybody that's ever had to have an emergency bathroom break, you do what you got to do to get where you got to get. Now we're talking about, it's pandemic, and Florida is one of the places you're not supposed to go to. And the only reason I had to go to Florida was to take care of some family business. There was literally, there were areas where there was no cars for miles in front of me or behind me. It was the easiest trip I think I've ever been to get to Florida and back. But you know what's interesting? You'll see somebody coming up behind you, and again, envision this. I'm in the right lane. Traffic not for miles, and you'll see somebody come in the left lane that's like coming off the horizon, and they have this burning desire that the minute they get past you is to get in front of you. And I mean, when you're doing 70 miles an hour and they're only using like 1 or 2 car lengths, I mean, it feels like they're taking your front bumper off. And if you're one of those guys that think you can't get a ticket in the right lane, you're kidding yourself. The radar works just as well in the right lane as it works in the left lane. The tickets are just as expensive in the right lane as they are in the left lane. And it will pay for those new cars and Tahoes and whatever else policemen are driving these days just as well as the cars in the left lane. There is no reason to zoom in front of somebody in the right lane. Give yourself some car lengths. Give the guy in the right lane a break. Here's another road trip tip. If you're in the left lane and there's nobody in front of you and there's 10 cars behind you, you're in the wrong lane. Just my opinion. In case you slept through driver's ed, the whole point of driving a car is to keep it as far away from another car as possible. We're going to see a variety of different techniques here. And we'll talk about it as the video plays, because you'll recognize every one of these types of drivers. And again, this is all in fun. When there's no cars in front of you and no cars behind you, it's a nice relaxing drive. You got a nice scenery in front of you, and then somebody comes up and nobody on the road, and you'll see this. They come up and they get in front of you as close as they possibly can. So now, instead of having this beautiful scenery in front of you, you're looking at the back end of somebody's truck or car. And it's like, why? Or clearly, they're not saving themselves from getting a ticket. So anyway, enjoy the video. Again, we're just having some fun. Now you can see, like I said, this was during the pandemic, or when they were telling us to stay home. And you can see there's no traffic on the road. And here's a situation where the guy is motoring along just like I am. There's no hurry to get in the right-hand lane. He's easily 10 or 15 car lengths ahead of me, and then he comes over. No stress from me. It gives me plenty of time to make judgments. If he has to put on the brakes for any reason, I don't have to go into a sudden stressed out situation, and he didn't create anything for me. Perfect situation. That's how it should be. And so we go from our last situation where there was no stress, we go to this one where a guy comes over and he's easily only 1 or 2 car lengths in front of me. He comes over and he puts his brakes on. Come on. Is there a more stressful situation than that? Be doing 70, 75 miles an hour and the guy pulls in front of you and puts his brakes on. And we've all had that happen. We've probably done it to other people too, but it is stressful. This is just for you hot rodders out there. What a nice looking Viper that is. I think that's an ACR. Didn't come through on the audio of the Garmin though, which is a shame. That thing was moving. In this one, we got a guy, Mr. NASCAR pickup truck guy. He's weaving in and out of traffic. I can see him coming from behind me, and he doesn't waste any time moving into the center lane when he gets by me. I mean, again, what's the reason? There's no traffic. Who cares? Stay in the left-hand lane for a while. And then you got this one. No cars on the road, and literally 2 car lengths in front of me, and comes over and then sprays my windshield with the rain. This one, we have an emergency bathroom break would be my guess, because here they come. Woo! And they get off the same exit ramp I do. I catch up, and you know how that is. You try to blow by somebody and then they catch up to you at the light. Now this one here is probably the most ridiculous of all of them. Here he comes. He's coming up on the right-hand side. And I mean, literally, what is that? And you see that a lot. But I'm in the left-hand lane because there were signs that said right lane closed 1 mile or 2 miles up ahead. And I left a video running for a little bit because they were clearly done for the day and the lane wasn't closed. But that kind of driving is just uncalled for. What's the point of that? And there's no cars out there. Again, look, there's no traffic on our side of the road. Now, of all of them, this has to be my favorite. There's a guy coming up on my left-hand side in a blue station wagon kind of vehicle. He's coming by me. He's going a couple miles an hour faster than I am. And he should be along here any second now. There he is. So he's going by me in a pretty decent clip. He's doing 2 or 3 miles an hour faster than I am. But notice he gets up in front of me a little bit, and then he sits there. Now I can see from my seat that he's kind of, he's got that lean like he's looking in the rearview mirror, trying to figure out how far he is in front of me. Can he move over yet? All this stuff. And he's looking he's almost stationary, and as far as the distance is, he is in front of me. He's still there. He's still there. And I know that he's looking to move into the right lane. So I'm kind of like, it's kind of funny to me at this point. But he's still sitting there. He's still sitting there. He's still looking at me. He's trying to figure out if he's far enough in front of me. Now watch, he pulls up just a little bit more. Now he's going to come over, and literally like a slingshot, he takes off. Now he is one of those guys that thinks he's going to get a ticket in the left-hand lane. And then he figures once he's in the right-hand lane, he can go as fast as he wants. That one was probably the funniest of them all. And this guy here in the pickup truck, I guess he figures the whole world can sit around and wait for him because he can't get off the road as far as he should to make the left-hand turn. And what's a video without some motorcyclist doing dumb things? So did you see any kind of drivers you recognize? Any you didn't? And put your comments down below, because my goodness, there's got to be thousands of different kinds of drivers that we've all experienced it, and probably been guilty of being that driver. So anyway, put some comments down below. Let me know your experiences, and hopefully you enjoyed this. And click that subscribe button. Smash that like button, turn on your notifications. I hope to see you back. All right, have a great evening.